For you MAGA that are asking, hey, this isn't what I voted for. I regret my vote. Can we come together now? No. And then you say, well, can we just work on the things that we don't agree with later? No, we can't. No. Because this is FAFO. You were at the fuck around part when you voted for a president who rapes women and caused an insurrection and called women piggy and defends child molesters. You were totally fine with that. But now you thought that your whiteness would keep you safe and you don't want the find out phase of it. Doesn't work that way. No. You're going to find out the hard way. All your fertilizer in your farms, yee-haw, America, America, America. You're going to get what you voted for. You're going to find out that racism is expensive. But let's look at the things that we disagree on, okay? And I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. You're still going to vote against women's rights to do what they want with their bodies. So fuck off. You're going to vote for Republicans in the very next election. You're going to because you're stupid. Because you don't care for women. Guns. 40,000 people die every year. Give me a solution. You have none. You won't do background checks. You won't ban ghost guns. You won't do a waiting period. You won't do a goddamn thing. And you're going to vote Republican. I'm not going to find common ground with that because I am actually pro-life. Are you going to vote for universal health care? Because we're the only country in the world. We call ourselves the greatest country. We have more wealth than anybody, and we can't even afford health care for our citizens. Nope. You're going to vote Republican in the very next election. You see where I'm going with this? You don't actually want to make this country better. You want to control people, and that's the problem with you. You want everybody to live by your moral standards. But Paul, I'm a Christian. Who do you think I'm named after? The Apostle Paul, Saul of Tarsus. But you know what I believe in? Free will. Women have the right to do what they want with their bodies. Has God stopped women from having abortions? Why not? Because of free will. Do you think that Jesus would want gun reform? Do you think he would just sit by every election and vote for Republicans and do nothing about gun violence? No, of course not. He wouldn't. He would be pissed, but you're not. Do you think Jesus would want universal health care? The guy that literally cured people? You're damn right he would, but you don't want that. What do you think about the homeless? Almost 800,000 in this country? All you do is demonize them. You make fun of them. You rip them off the streets. They're an eyesore. You don't help them. You don't actually want to make this country better, and that's the problem. You're voting against a political party that you see as your enemy. You're not even voting for yourself, and that's the fundamental problem. And let's talk about what you don't want to talk about. There are women in this country that are sexual assault survivors, that every day knowing that you and your ilk and your little six-teeth base, Make America White Again, voted for a man who has sexually assaulted a lot of women, who is actively defending child molesters. And you said, that's okay as long as he promises cheap gas. How am I supposed to find common ground with somebody that has no moral compass? Because you don't. There's a reason that women don't come forward, because you don't believe them. So you won't work on raising minimum wage. You won't work on universal health care. You won't work on gun reform. You won't tax rich people, and you're fine voting for a man that rapes women. So what exactly is it that you want to find common ground on? Because I'm curious. Let me know. But you don't want to make the country better. You want to wallow in your pity, and you want to own the libs and own the libs and own the libs. You could be eating garbage on the side of a street, butt-ass naked, and you would be holding up Trump 28 because I know things are going to get better. He told me next election I'm going to have cheap eggs. I know that you can't have 3 presidencies, but I don't give a damn because America first. Because that's what you people are. And the only way you're going to learn is when you suffer like little children. When you feel the effects of your racism, when you get a fraction of what it's like to be treated like a black person, then and only then will you finally care and give a damn about somebody else other than yourself. And I'll leave you with this. And I find it rich that so many of you preach about Jesus and God and Bibles and scriptures, and you're supposed to build your wealth in heaven. In heaven, where moth and rust can't get to them. But yet you build all of your wealth on earth. Money, money, money. Everything that I just mentioned, women's rights, homeless people, universal health care, a living wage. You know who it helps? Everybody else except for me. Because I'm not a selfish prick like you. When you start actually being a patriot and giving a damn about other people, that's when we can find common ground. What you worship is the idea of American exceptionalism. And the reality is, it's white nationalism. You worship symbols. You worship the flag and phrases like, God bless America, freedom, 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 God first, God said this, God did that. That's it. You worship the country itself. And I care for the people that are in this country. That's the difference. And until you can actually see that and put your pride aside, then we're never going to be a great country for everybody. And I don't care if you don't like that. It's only been great for people that look like me. And if you don't like that, you can ship your hillbilly ass back to England where you came from. Have a white day.